I've been playing online multiplayer games as far back as I can remember, and I've been watching someone play them for even longer. For me, it all started with my brother playing the small indie game you've probably never heard of, Left 4 Dead 2. Since then, however, I've noticed something about gaming in general. There's something different, something missing. From the time of zombie massacres of Call of Duty or Left 4 Dead to the lobbies I quote-unquote couldn't survive, it seems games and overall companies have taken a very different approach to the new big hitters of the current gaming generation. Something I and many have heard their whole lives is that gaming isn't for me. It isn't for us. It's for men. The ones who know what they're doing, since their games are gruesome, rough, and rugged. But that's the thing. They aren't. At least not anymore. You see, back in the day, this argument maybe could have meant something. But nowadays, the biggest hitters of our generations of gaming has become colorful, playful, and more importantly, a lot less manly. And these people who thought that they were the only ones who had the right to play video games have been forced to adapt, and they really aren't handling it well. From the girl bossification of more masculine characters, to the in-game purchases, to even the designs of characters, and even the world in which these games take place, these games aren't as catered to these hyper-masculine men anymore. And even if there is characters or designs that are, they're normally the outcasts nowadays. So indulge me as I try to convince some people who are scared to take the plunge into gaming to take a chance, and tell those who dominate it, it's not yours. With the evolution of the gaming space, and more importantly, gaming as a whole, has become way more mainstream, with so many free-to-play games, mainstream collabs.
Help me! Help me!
Many different eyes than traditional gamer bros have seen and begun to head towards gaming, creating the girl fossification of many manly characters. Look at characters such as Ghost from the gaming franchise Call of Duty, or Reaper from the game Overwatch. One or two, I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Both of these characters share similar aesthetics, being a more rugged, dark, antagonist character, meant to lean into the more edgy personas in gaming. They both even heavily incorporate skulls into their designs. The only thing they have in common is they have both received attention from their, let's say, not intended audience, but my preferred one. Both of these characters have been hyper-feminized to a degree of comedy. From the sheer comedic value of a manly man wearing a maid outfit, which if we've learned anything from the e-boys on TikTok, it's always a banger. And the idea of a more masculine man having a feminine side. Needless to say, the traditional COD audiences specifically did not take well to the change of their beloved Ghost, with many claiming it was a disservice to the character, and made an attempt to gatekeep it from the quote-unquote new fans. But these men forget. Gatekeeping was never for them, and so many of the jokes carried and got even more absurd, with cosplayer and artists making their own renditions of the girly pop Ghost. The idea that a fictional character cannot receive outside attention from anyone other than its intended audiences seems to have been an alien construct to these men. Mind you, these are the same people who make blue pill references and red pill references all the time. Please read what The Matrix is about. And it seems as though they might have been a little bit too sensitive to accept their manly man icons become girly pop. Regardless of how manly a character is, it surprises me when gamer boys get so upset about these things, because the writing is on the wall. Or should I say, in the in-game purchases tab. With so many of the gaming giants moving for free-to-play, the rise of in-game purchases has become inevitable. And many of these games have produced a wide amount of cosmetics and options for players to choose from at the cost of their credit digits. From Valorant to Overwatch to Fortnite to Apex to yes, COD, we have seen a massive amount of cosmetic items, and the success of this formula has proven it's here to stay. With the success of this formula, love it or hate, there has been a massive bridge gap between mainstream and gaming. These are what we call licensed cosmetics, and have a wide range of almost Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all licenses, of Fortnite and Dead by Daylight, to limited or inspired licensed cosmetics such as Apex or Overwatch. Licenses are no small feature in these games. Specifically, the one that has left me the most speechless as of late is Nicki Minaj x Call of Duty. Yes, the Barbie princess herself will be able to fry you with an AR in your favorite gamer boy game, Call of Duty.
Playtime is over.
when Nikki drops in. Bang, 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 bang. You could be the king, but watch the queen conquer.
You see, no matter where you go, you can't avoid it. Nicki Minaj is not in Call of Duty for the bro gamer base. She's there to bring in people such as myself, and damn it, it might just work. Yet again, we see that a space that has become so synonymous with men and gamer boys becoming less and less of a safe space, and is riddled with people such as myself. And who could blame us? Just look at the art direction so many AAA games have taken in the past 10 years. Over the past 10 years, many of the biggest game companies, such as Blizzard, Riot, Respawn, okay, EA, not Respawn. One thing all these companies have in common is that they have taken the first-person shooter in a bit of a different direction. Traditionally, games in the first-person shooter genre have stuck to the same formula, since some of the first trendsetters, Doom and alike, started a grungy, violent man aesthetic. And this further continued into the juggernauts of the time, such as Halo, COD, or even Left 4 Dead. But one day, it changed. Now, I'm no gaming anthropologist, but it's not hard to see in the current era the drastic shift that was made and how successful that shift was. From Overwatch, the quote-unquote woke left game, winning Game of the Year with its more animated aesthetics and limited but still queer female character as their face runner, to the now gaming titan of Valorant, first-person shooters don't have the manly appeal they once did so many years ago. Sure, there are characters such as Soldier 76, Reaper, Breach, Brimstone, Caustic, and Revenant, but with all of them, you also have characters such as Diva, Lifeweaver, Reyes, Killjoy, Catalyst, and Lifeline, among the many other variety of characters that there are. Truly explain to me how these characters can be for men. Why women should get back in the kitchen when there's characters I've mentioned are ones that are clearly not catered toward the manly demographic. Representation is very important in my opinion. It's even necessary for a successful society, but it doesn't solve our problems. Representation is a starting block, and an opening for some to take the plunge. But it hasn't entirely worked, now has it? With all this that I've said, with games clearly no longer catering to a male demographic, we still see a contrast of genders being far too skewed towards the male domination. In a space that is supposed to, at least by the way they're marketed, be designed for all, they aren't being played by all. Rather, we still have a Sigma player telling his Mercy to go back to the kitchen. We have a Jet main cussing out a Sage for not rezzing him. We have a Caustic player living up to the reputation of most toxic competitor in the Apex games. But to those men, I have one thing to say. It's not for you. Maybe once upon a time it was, but as the rest of the world has, you must move on. This is not the woke left ruining your games. This isn't an e-girl ruining your rank-up game. This is the world moving on. And if you haven't noticed, you're the one in the wrong game. Doesn't it feel cool when you one-shot someone and suck the life out of them as a badass Latina woman? Or maybe it feels cool to one-shot an enemy as a Spider-Woman. Maybe it's amazing to clutch a 1v3 as a girl who can skip through dimensions. Huh? Aren't all those characters girls? Interesting how the most popular and powerful characters are women. Point is, these characters weren't made for you boys. And honestly, they weren't entirely made for women either. Hell, I know Widowmaker was not made for a single girl out there. But they are made for everyone to play. The gaming sphere isn't a safe space for women, or anyone who isn't a man, but I promise it can be so much fun. Nowadays, it's even accessible. So, no matter who you are, if you're scared of the big bad man, remember, they act this way because they are behind a screen. Don't let their idiocy prevent you from enjoying something that's made for everyone to enjoy. Behind every video game is a passionate human developer. That and a money-hungry corporation, of course. But I can promise you, the people who created these characters, like Catalyst, or Lifeweaver, or Reyes, want people to see the parts of themselves in that character. And they want those people to play that character. Whether you connect to their gender identity, their personality, or even less deep aspects such as their playstyle or fun design, you should play them. Don't allow others to ruin your fun. And if you still believe the gaming space is only for men, I ask you to look at these games. Look at the people who play these games. Look at the Lululovelies, or the Kaides, or the Frans, and realize there is space for you. And these games are for you. I've had a lot of bad moments in gaming. Moments that have made me want to stop. But I've never been happier to keep a hobby. And hopefully, in some manner, someday, a career. It's never too late to find a new hobby. I've been Enigma Bazaar, and goodbye.